You guys, you know what's funny? I'm currently starting this video at 1:22 p.m. on the 1st of July. That's how you know there's so much alignment with this channel message. You guys, I'm so excited to be back. Hi, how are you? I know I didn't post last week. I was out of town. I took a little bit of a breather because sometimes the healing journey is healing and journeying a little too hard, and when sometimes we need a break. Nonetheless, here we are. If you made yourself across this video, then there's something in this video meant for you, whether it's a nudge, reassurance, or just simply not feeling alone. I feel like right now there's so much heaviness going on in the world. There's literally so much shifting that's happening, but I am so excited to be here. I feel like there's this new frequency and this new vibration that's happening. And if you guys have been following me for a while, you guys know I had taken a step back from readings because I needed a break, to be honest. I feel like my soul, if you've been following me for a while, has been evolving past certain things, but nonetheless, I realize I am ready to start channeling again. I can hold the frequency, I can hold the energy, and I'm so happy to be here. So, thank you guys so much for being here. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe, like, comment, share. Let me know you're here. And yeah, let's get started. Also, I just want to do a quick disclaimer, by the way. These readings are meant to be constructive, they're not meant to be taken as solid advice. So, please use your own discernment. And the second thing is, if I'm veering off to the side, you guys, it's because I literally wrote down, I channeled. I didn't write it, but I typed the channeling down because I wanted to get more deeply into it. So if you see me veering off, I'm still here with you, bestie. I'm just like trying to cover all the points that spirit literally wants me to talk about. So let's go ahead and get started. So with this frequency that I've been channeling, this energy that's been sitting like in me, and this, I want to give credit, by the way, where credit is due. I am being used as a vessel for this channeled message. It didn't come from me, it came from a higher source. And it also came through a higher source through also my mom. My mom's actually the one that inspired this video. So, hi, mama. If you're watching, thank you so much. So, a couple of days ago on TikTok, I was opening up to you guys about how I've taken a step from TikTok and I've been rediscovering my purpose, right? Like, what is my purpose? What is my why? And in the Kabbalah, they talk about redefining your why you're doing things, your intentions, why you're showing up, because that creates ripple effects, right? The energy is in the intention that you put behind things. So my mom gently reminded me kavanah. And kavanah is, I looked off because I wanted to make sure I was saying it right. Kavanah is meaningful purpose. And when she left that comment on my TikTok, it made me realize, it hit me so hard, you guys, that I was like, wow, kavanah, why does that sound so unfamiliar, but like so familiar at the same time? And if you're watching this, you're probably thinking the same. It's basically going back to the basics as to why you started something in the first place. For me, it's the channeling, it's this type of content. For you, it could be something else, right? So, kavanah in the Kabbalah is basically the art of putting intentions behind everything that you do, even if it's just drinking a cup of water, even if it's just like prayer, even if it's doing yoga, even if it's walking. There's an intention, there's a thought, there's an energetic momentum behind it. So, that is what kavanah is. Now, what's interesting, and you're probably wondering, well, P, why does this tie in with the collective energy? Baby, because we're all finding kavanah. We're all going back to the basics. And in yoga, I remember when I was doing my yoga training, my teacher told me, there'll come a time where you will get all the poses and you will continue to do yoga, only for the universe, God, whoever you resonate with, to humble you back again into the basics. Because in the basics is when you learn and you remember why you started this journey in the first place. You find your why, you find your intention. So what I'm channeling here, which my mom was also the conduit of this, was why are we doing certain things? Like, what is our why, right? And it's like, okay, why, for me personally, maybe for you it's different, obviously, why did I start this business? What do I love about tarot? What do I love about readings and channelings and messages? Also, what no longer works and why have I outgrown it? Who am I becoming? All of these beautiful questions. So, in the collective, and I'm going to refrain from, stereotyping or anything, but there's a lot of tarot readers currently, I'm sure you've seen it on TikTok, that are actually resigning from tarot itself for just channeled messages. And again, I don't want to make it about that because it's not about them and it's not about their journey. This is just an example of what the collective energy is doing. A lot of people are removing themselves, not because they did it out of ill intentions, but because honestly, the only constant is change. And sometimes we do outgrow certain practices, certain things, certain modalities, certain beliefs. And I think it's okay. I think it's okay to constantly be evolving and changing yourself to something that makes you feel more comfortable or something that aligns better with where you're at right now. So you're seeing that. That is that representation of finding kavanah again. Like, what is my why? Maybe your why has changed. So you're seeing that. So the energy I'm seeing is this collective shifting and changing. Now, here's the irony and how it ties into the current world events. I was giving the word or the phrase shaken to be awakened. It's not the first time that Spirit gives me this word or this sentence, but it is in very pivotal moments. So we are sandwiched right now between a lot of astrological energy, also earth energy, quantum energy. There's a lot of shifts happening. We have Mercury currently stationed retrograde. I know that it says until July something, July, I think it's July 24, 26, that Mercury is still retrograding. But remember, there's always a post-shadow period and a pre-shadow period. So realistically, we've been in the Mercury retrograde pre-shadow for the past like 2.5 weeks before we just started it a couple days ago officially. So if you're having issues with communication, as we all know, Mercury is the planet of communication. It's of thinking. It's of networking. It rules everything technical. So you always want to make sure that things are aligned. But Mercury is also the planet of revisiting things. When we pair it up, which we did on Monday, with a full moon, it's a lot of revisiting, of letting go of certain things. So it's tied in with kavanah, finding the purpose, finding the why, letting go of anything and everything that is no longer congruent to the life that you're trying to build. And we've talked about this before, right? I don't want this to sound like it's never ending and regurgitated-ish. But I feel like for those of you watching, I feel like you're going to find so much validation in this because this is the frequency that you're in. So kavanah, Mercury retrograde, full moon. There's a lot of energy. Then we go on to talk about CERN. If you don't know what CERN is, maybe do a little bit of research. I don't mean that in a mean way. I just mean I can't talk about it too much on here, if you're catching my drift. But we can talk about it somewhere else. But yeah, CERN is active, which is the hydrogen collider, which is where they basically spew particles together to create black holes and quantum jump and shift. Yes, if you're watching me and you think that's crazy, I don't know what to tell you. The fact that you're here on Earth in a physical meat suit, but your soul is living inside your body is crazy, okay? So I'm gonna need you to expand your mind a little bit. But anyways, for those of you guys who know what CERN is basically they're playing all the time with the Earth's and the Schumann frequency, which is the Earth's natural frequency, which affects us, by the way. And yesterday, and even 2 days ago, so on Monday, there was a lot of energy being messed with. It seems like Earth is trying to find its balance. And it needs to shake up in order to wake up and in order to align. It's one of those energies that Spirit was telling me sometimes healing looks like chaos, but not all storms come to disrupt your path. Some of them come to clear it. And I know that these are heavy times to be saying that because of everything that's going on in South America right now. And there's a lot of loss, there's a lot of grief, there's a lot of sadness. Of course, we're not bypassing that, by the way. That's a different subject to this. And it does tie into this change, to this frequency. I don't think there's a coincidence that CERN is being shut off this same day that Mercury goes retrograde, the same day that the full moon goes on, because at this point we know that this world is ruled by a lot of questionable people. And that's where I'm going to leave it at for now. But nonetheless, Spirit was explaining to me, shaken to awaken. So what we're seeing is the Schumann resonance is changing because it's been messed with for so long that now it's stabilizing. And that stabilizing looks a little concerning, right? Because it comes in a little bit of chaos, but there's a grounding sense. So what you see outside, you also see inside. So yes, we're seeing that in the outside world, which is very unfortunate. I just want to be clear about that. And then we're also seeing it inside of us. So a lot of you guys could be feeling like shaken, like almost like, okay, the star seeds, the light workers, the empaths, the souls that are here that know they're not from here are experiencing almost like this very intense quantum shift. So maybe a lot of you guys right now are feeling a little bit lost, a little bit confused, a little bit drained, a little bit tired. That is because when the frequency spikes, it's too high sometimes for our bodies, not necessarily our soul, but our body to integrate that energy. That is what's happening. So you are literally consciously or subconsciously, you're anchoring in so much light, so much codes, so much information that it takes a second for your physical human vessel to catch up to that. So this could be experienced as fatigued, sometimes frustration, sadness, anger. There seems to be this energy of like grieving, but I feel like it's grieving the old system, grieving the old version as this new version of us is being molded and coming in, right? So there's like this new frequency here that is very interesting. Now, what I found also very interesting here for this collective is that many of you guys were doing fine, right? Maybe a little bit better. And then now it might feel like you're kind of regressing or kind of like you hit this wall all over again. And you're going, well, wait a second, am I doing something wrong? Maybe there's something wrong with my frequency. Maybe I'm around the wrong people. Maybe I'm in the wrong place, which, by the way, it's going to be subjective for every single one of you because for some of you, maybe that's the case. But for most of you, it's a frequency and an energy moving through. So there's a lot of things happening. And when you're a very highly sensitive person, you feel everything so deeply. I'm not making this up. We know this. Everything is energy before it's physical. So that's a little bit of what's happening here for a lot of you guys. So it's very difficult too. And I feel like Spirit was telling me these earlier. A lot of you guys are practicing compassion, but not with other people. I feel like a lot of you guys have mastered that. It's compassion within self. Because there's something here around your inner child, giving yourself grace, understanding, compassion, believing in yourself. I also feel like, to be honest with you, what we're seeing with the Schumann resonance, with the shakes, with all of the things happening, are a representation of something needing to be changed. So what Spirit was telling me is if sadness is here, it means something needs shifting. So something needs to change is what's happening. So when we talk about, and we've talked about this before in many channelings before, when we talk about 5D consciousness, and I want to be very careful with all these labels, by the way, because I've noticed that sometimes they can be tainted and they can be used to control and distort reality and kind of keep us entrapped in this like escapism of like, I need to be in 5D consciousness, therefore I can't pay attention to like what's going on in the world, or like I'm doing something wrong. No, this channel message is not meant to instill guilt. It's meant to be empowering so that you know what's going on behind the scenes, so that you don't feel like there's something wrong, because there's not anything wrong. There's just a shift happening. And when you're so sensitive, you feel everything so deeply and it hits you a lot stronger. So Spirit is reminding me, compassion, compassion, compassion. For some of you guys, you're kind of like bored out of the system. And a lot of this sadness is coming from you still trying to fit in this system that was never meant for you. And it's like you're capsulating yourself, right? This restrictive energy, which makes sense, by the way, with the full moon, because I believe this full moon was in Capricorn. So Capricorn's ruled by Saturn, which is all about restriction, discipline. So when it's a full moon, it's letting go of the restrictions that you keep, whether this is showing up more authentically in the outside world, whether this is in your relationship. Maybe you're in a relationship feeling restricted, or in relationships feeling restricted. Maybe your job feels restricted, or maybe you feel restricted within yourself and your daily routine. So there's something here that needs to change. So again, these things are being triggered because I do genuinely think now is the time where a big, massive shift is about to start. And we already feel that, right? It's not a coincidence that all of these things are piling up so perfectly, right? To where now we turn a blind eye and we're just like, yeah, like it's just coincidence. It's like, no, a lot is being awakened. We shift with the frequency of Earth. We are from Earth. Our physical vessels from Earth. Your soul is from the galaxy, the stars, right? So there's a lot of communication here, a lot of it. So a lot of you guys are switching in frequency. There's something here about needing to break old routines and needing to do something different. Something's got to change. What is that? I'm not 100% sure. Spirit just said for a lot of you guys, which by the way, I include myself in these channel messages because I'm not exempt, by the way. But there needs to be a change. Something needs to change. That's what I'm hearing for a lot of you guys. Another thing that I think is super interesting that's happening in this collective is, and I'm going to veer off just for a second and talk about star seeds, like such as like Lemurians, Atlanteans, like all of these things, right? These star seeds, right? These Andromedans, Lyrians, Syrians, Apunians, like all of these beings, you guys, right? Star seeds, you will know there's an activation happening inside of you. A lot of you guys right now, and I just want to say this, and it's not meant to create fear, it's meant to create awareness. You were given these gifts of intuition, of discernment, of hearing, but also smelling, but seeing, but tasting, but feeling for a reason. So at this time, we have to be extra mindful of our dreams. We have to be extra mindful of what we're sharing with certain individuals, because I'm seeing a lot of jealousy, a lot of envy, a lot of like almost like this serpent like energy. I'm hearing the serpent of, what's the word? Like the serpent of temptation, right? So temptation, like maybe turning your feelings off. It's very tempting to turn your feelings off because if you see so much, you feel so deeply, and it's like, So there's also a lot of jealousy, a lot of psychic attacks. Remember, things do not have power over you unless you authorize it and give them power. But you get what I'm saying? We are being disoriented left and right. So right now, what Spirit is saying, it's okay to protect your mental health. It's okay if you're placing boundaries with social media. It's okay if you're placing boundaries with your work, with your husband, your wife, or your partner, or your kids, or whoever you need to place boundaries on or for in order to replenish yourself. So that's what you're recommended now more than ever. I'm also hearing there's something very significant about the heat. Especially in South Florida, in California, and New York. That's very specific, but that's also true. I'm also hearing Alabama. Listen, that's just what I'm getting. There's a lot of excess heat. There's something here around that. So again, and none of this is meant to be fearful. It could just be that some of you guys live in those states or within those states or will be traveling to those states. Take it as it resonates. I'm just delivering the message. But there's something here in the heat, in the shedding, in the sweating, in the kind of like letting go. We're very much in an era of letting go. Now that we're in Mercury retrograde, I believe Mercury retrograde is in Cancer, if I'm not mistaken. Again, I didn't go too much into astrology because I'm not an astrologer. I just hear what spirit is telling me. I check, obviously, to make sure my information's right. But I believe it's in Cancer. And we know Cancer rules home, life, mother, feminine energy, the nurturing side. It also rules the moon, which is your emotions. So think Mercury with moon. This is all about, reassessing emotions and the way you feel. It being in the sector of Mercury, this is all about your throat chakra, like how to clean that out. Some of you guys are still working with your inner child, predominantly with a mother energy or a feminine energy in your life. This is regardless of gender. It could be a grandma, though. I'm here for some of you guys. It's your mother. It's your relation to your mother. It's your connection to your mother, to the nurturing side of you, which is also probably what's making you feel all of this, by the way. If you are a feminine, so what I mean by that, this is actually gender based. If you have a womb and you carry a womb, this is a great time right now, more than ever, to do womb healing and womb cleansing. There's many different ways you could do this, and it's all about reconnecting to your womb, reclaiming your power, letting go of old beliefs that are outdated and in there. Especially if you're a woman, you have a womb. It goes back to 7 generations. So your grandma, your great grandma, your mom, your sister, your aunt, your great aunt, all of these people, right? So this is for you. For those of you guys who are in the masculine energy or just consider yourself more masculine in nature, what this means is healing your relationship to women, to your mom, regardless whether you love women or you want to be in a relationship with women or you don't, doesn't matter. The energy's still there. So there's something here within your mom, within your own feminine energy, within the way you see women. So there's something here. Cancer rules family. And this also talks about roots, ancestry, and all of that. I've said this before, but Spirit's so strict about this. Go back to your roots. There's something in your ancestry that's going to be needed in the next few months, whether it's for your own reasons or for the reasons of helping the collective. So, all in all, this is a channel message that Spirit wants you to kind of sit down with, right? And just kind of digest. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. But there is a shift happening, and a lot of you guys are being shaken to be awakened, and shaken in order for shifts to happen, because the truth is, in the next couple months, your vibration, your energy, your mastership, or your gifts are going to be needed, and they're going to be appreciated. So just know that if you're going through this right now, you're not the only one, right? Riding this wave. There's a lot of uncertainty, but they're always in your heart of hearts. There's always this sense of knowing that I am protected and provided for. And that even if you can't see the way forward right now, because let me be so honest, a lot of people cannot see the way forward yet. Even those of us who are very can see, or seers or whatever, we get details, but we don't get all of it. We're not know-it-alls. I know some people out here acting like they're damn know-it-alls, but the truth is none of us know it all. We just have glimpses, and we use our intuition, and we use that gift to help others also step into their intuition and into their gifts. So that's what this video is about. So again, if you made it across this video, thank you so much for being here. I hope there was something in here for you. Let me know if this resonates, by the way, if any of these things hit your criteria. And also, you guys, thank you, first and foremost, thank you to Spirit for showing up, for giving this channel message. It feels so good to be able to channel and feel this frequency and this love and this kind of like gentle nudge. And I hope you guys can feel that as well. So with that being said, thank you guys for being here. I love you, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.